3 horrifying hiking encounters caught on camera. Viewer beware. 3 campers walked into the woods thinking they were alone. They weren't. Something stalked one. Something hunted another. And the last, it crawled. Let's begin. It left claw marks around my tent and stalked me all night. I was hiking alone in the deep woods of Oregon, one of those long, empty trails where the air feels heavy and the silence feels too thick. By late afternoon, I'd found an old clearing to camp in, and that's when I noticed something off. Claw marks, fresh ones, not scratches, gouges, like something dragged sharpened antlers or massive nails down the wood. They were shoulder height on pine and far too high for any animal out there. I told myself it was nothing. Set up my tent, ate, waited for nightfall. But the woods went dead silent. No insects, no wind, just listening. Around midnight, I woke up to the faintest sound. Footsteps, slow, deliberate, circling my tent. I held my breath. Whatever it was, it stopped right outside the door flap and exhaled. Not an animal breath. Wet, heavy, wrong. I didn't move. I didn't speak. Didn't even blink until I heard it walk away. Not run, not crash through the brush, just fade. When dawn finally came, I stepped outside, and my stomach dropped. My entire campsite was destroyed, but not randomly, selectively. My food bag had been emptied and stacked neatly on a rock. My tent had been shredded in long, deliberate lines, matching the claw marks from before. In the soft dirt beside my sleeping bag, a footprint, massive, deep, and nothing like a human's. Its toes were long, too long. I packed up and left immediately. On the way back, I found a tree with fresh gouges carved into it, and these claw marks didn't slash downward. They pointed up the tree, toward the canopy, as if something had climbed it and watched me all night. We saw something in the woods we weren't meant to see. My friend and I were driving through a national forest road just past midnight, windows down, music low, nothing unusual. But then we saw a light deep in the trees. Not a campfire, not headlights, just a faint, flickering glow. Curiosity got the better of us. We parked, killed the engine, listened. Voices. Then we saw them. 2 figures under the tree standing in a small circle of light. One handed something small, wrapped and tightly bound to the other. Too small for food, too deliberate for trash. It looked like an exchange, a deal. We should have left, because the moment we turned to get back in the car, a third man stepped down from behind a tree, hood up, hands in pockets, watching us. And then he moved his hand and pulled out a gun. No shouting, no warning, just lifted the gun and pointed it straight at us. We ran, dove into the car, slammed the doors, peeled out. But behind us, through the rear glass, their flashlight beams burst into motion, and I saw all 3 of them sprinting after us. No shouting, no commands, just silent. When we finally made it to the highway, hearts pounding, we thought we were safe. But the next morning, when we returned to grab something we'd dropped along the road, we found something else. Symbols, carved deep into a tree near the same spot. Not letters, not random lines. Symbols, circles crossed by vertical slashes, dozens of them freshly cut. And below the carvings, footprints. But the prints weren't human. They were too wide, too deep. And they didn't have toes, just long indentations dragging into the woods. Something had been there with those men, watching us. The monster that chased us through the woods. My friend and I were hiking under the moonlight. Stupid, I know, but we'd done it 100 times. This time, something felt different. It started when we heard a branch snap behind us, not unusual, until we heard another, Then another, slow, evenly spaced, like footsteps timing themselves with ours. We stopped walking. The steps stopped. Then we heard breathing. Low, wet, close. I aimed my flashlight into the tree line. At first, we saw nothing. Then, lower near the ground, two pale shapes gliding between the trunks. Arms, elbows bent wrong, moving too smooth. Then it crawled out. A naked man, or something shaped like a man, hunched on all fours, but its limbs were too long. Its head tilted far more than a human neck should allow. And its eyes, they reflected white like an animal caught in headlights, but too deliberate, too locked onto us. It crawled towards us, slow at first, then faster. Then it sprinted on all fours, so fast the ground shook. We ran. Branches slapped our faces, roots threatened to trip us. Its breathing grew louder, closer, until suddenly it stopped. Silence. We skidded to a halt, gasping, shining our flashlight everywhere. Nothing. We didn't see it again until we reached the car and slammed the door shut. That's when we saw it. Not the creature itself, but the handprints on the car windows, upside down as if something had been crawling above us while we ran and pressed its hands against the glass before disappearing into the trees. We left and we never went back. If you're still here, you're one of the brave ones. Hit like so more people can see these stories, and subscribe if you want to keep digging into the nightmares hiding in the woods. And remember, the forest is never truly empty. Something is always watching.